light bulbs have to be insulated in this manner, or stubs have to be this many inches apart, etc. And my understanding is that's not what it is at all. It is simply a certification standard, to which I ask the question, why would it be necessary for us? I mean, anybody can build to these standards without our approval or direction. So my question is, why would we need and have to put this in there? Anyway, I'll look forward to that discussion next week. Thank you.
Okay. Other council members? Paul?
I just wanted to, seeing two port commissioners in the audience, and I wanted to thank you all for the concert over the weekend. It was a wonderful concert. It was a beautiful day, and I very much enjoyed the Washougal High School jazz band, or jazz choir, maybe it's called. They were top drawer, and Five Guys Named Mo were always a fun show. So thank you very much. I think that's all.
Other members? Rob?
A couple of things I'd like to address. The roundabout, I'm not going to debate tonight whether it's a good idea or not a good idea. The reason that it was brought up, when it was brought up, Harvey, was that it was, we were having accidents there. I'm not going to debate with you whether they were fatalities or otherwise. But the fact of the matter is that an overpass at that time was at least $11 to $15 million, which the Department of Transportation said they had no money for it, and certainly Washougal didn't. The alternative was to try to slow the traffic down through there a little bit and to avoid the accidents. And then, as well, rather than have an overpass and allowing to go by our city at 60 miles an hour, we were hoping that there would be some element of, if they slowed down, maybe they would come in and buy and help support the community. Things change as we go along. I'm not arguing with the truck driver that those things are not working, but at the same time, either it's a fashionable thing, or it's an economic thing, or it actually works. But they're getting more and more roundabouts in the state of Washington all the time. It's an economic thing in a lot of cases, because it does work a portion of the time.
I wish I could answer that, but
Well, it's our turn to talk this time, right?
yes.
And
On the second, I will.
yep, and then we'll have that discussion. But that's the reason it was done that way at the time. It was trying to do something out there, because there was never going to happen for the overpass. There was no money. We didn't have it. The state told us they did not have it. So that's why it was a safety issue, and we tried to address it that way. We looked at the angles that the cars would come into the roundabout. They would be glancing blows if, in fact, they hit, versus head-on. So those were some of the things that I recall talking about at the time when it was a good idea. I want to talk about the immigration laws. I never followed suit with the rest of the council members when we referenced it to Arizona. The part that I voted for it was that we have laws, just as we have laws in the city of Washougal. If we have laws in the city of Washougal, I would certainly stress that we enforce those laws as they are written today in the city of Washougal. That's the way I feel about it in the state of Washington. We are a border state, and my intent with that letter was to send it to the legislators and say, please enforce the laws. That was the intent that I had when I voted for that. I don't want to get involved in Arizona politics. I could care less about Arizona politics. If it's the city of Washougal, and we had done all of our homework that night, and it was the last agenda bill, and I saw that in some of the emails it says, don't you have things better to do than spend your time on this? We had spent our time. We did our homework on all the other topics that we talked about that night. This is one that, because it was brought up by the public, and it is an issue nationwide, I voted to ask our legislators to please enforce the laws as they're written. Thanks.
Other members?
I do.
John?
Could we have, and I don't know what the agenda looks like for the next workshop, but I was hoping that we could have Councilwoman Costin, since you're on the Regional Transportation Board, give us any kind of update that she may have in regards to the I-5-205 tolling, as well as the I-5 bridge and the light rail. Would like to start having that dialogue in this council as that project progresses. That does affect us as well as the rest of the county. So I would like to start having that discussion to get an update if we can from that standpoint. Thank you.
Yep, we'll schedule it in.
Yeah.
Any other items?
One final point. I'll make it quick, if I may. In regards to a comment earlier about the people who voted against that resolution did not uphold the Constitution, I would like to, even though I voted for that resolution, I would like to honor my fellow council members who did vote against our resolution, in the sense that I believe their vote was completely in line with their oath of office, because they are not charged with specifically the duty necessarily of enforcing the federal laws, and this was simply a solution that we were asking for our state legislators to come up with a way of having their laws be in line and help enforce the federal laws. But I don't believe that they were in dereliction of duty in voting against the resolution, even though I disagree with their decision. So I just wanted to say that's where I stood on that position. Thank you.
Yes.
I do want to say that the emails we received, that I received, I'll say that, I bet you it was 50-50 on support and 50-50 of them beating us up for having said anything at all about it. So, I think that comes with the territory, but with all due respect, Molly and Paul voted against it, and I certainly respect their choice to vote against that. And obviously, we all vote yea and nay on a number of topics. And I respect everybody that votes and how they vote that way. Just if we don't have to always agree.
David?
Final comment. Thank you for the opportunity. Just wanted to clarify for everybody, Molly mentioned that I had deferred to her appointment, and I did. And I wanted everybody to know why. Because she's better qualified by qualifications, experience, and temperament to deal with the issues that come up in the Community Action Board. And that was obvious to me. And I deferred to her because she's better at what she does in this regard. So, and it was a pleasure to do it, Molly.
Any other council items? Okay, moving into the regular agenda, public hearing on Agenda Bill 109-110, the Transportation Improvement Plan. Mr. Evers.
Thank you, Mayor Guard, council members. This evening, I'd like to walk you through a brief overview in regards to the Transportation Improvement Plan. Flow chart you see before you shows the 4 different districts within the Transportation Improvement Planning jurisdiction. Below that is the Regional Transportation Council and Department of Transportation, Washington State. Below that, you'll see 12 cities represented, 3 counties, 5 ports, and CTRAN, ODOT, and Portland Metro. A couple elements with this slide, specifically Revised Code of Washington requires that we update our transportation improvement plan on an annual basis to be in compliance with the growth management plan. The 2 bullets below on this slide move through specifics within our municipal code, where we have rankings, prioritization, which is our 6-year TIP update, and below a yearly update for concurrency between Public Works and the Community Development Department. The latter half of the 3rd bullet references a 5-year update to the facility plan for transportation. It was last adopted in 2006 and is currently at advertisement request for proposals. So we are on track with getting our full-blown facility plan updated as